Ladies and gentlemen and others, welcome to Pouring Takes. Today we are talking about the Dallas Wings, the Texas Rangers, the UFC, and the NBA and the NHL. Big day, take it away.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Pouring Takes podcast. I am Charlie Van, right here at Underdog Restaurant and Sports Club. Join with me always, my lovely co-host, Rayya.
Hi, Charlie, and joining us yet again, back in business.
Back again.
Welcome, Brandon.
Our baseball guru.
Thank you. Thank you for having me once again. I appreciate that.
And always making us sound good, making us look good, making us always feel good.
Oh,
Our producer, Tanner.
That sounds very special.
Another year older now.
Another year, yes.
Yes.
Happy birthday again.
Hey, happy birthday to me. Thank you guys so
it's your
much.
whole month. You celebrate the whole month, and it's
No.
a milestone birthday. You
It
don't
is a
stop
milestone.
celebrating.
I'm not one of those.
How does it feel to be 25 again?
It feels pretty good. This is the second time. Having a good time. A little slower getting up in the morning than I was the day before. But, you know, I think that's what they mean by over the hill. Every day is just a little slower than the one before.
Yeah, it doesn't go the other way.
Do
Yeah.
they
I promise
keep
you.
moving the benchmark for what is defined as over the hill? Because I feel like growing up, I was told over the hill was 50, which you are nowhere near 50.
Oh, I always heard 40.
Yeah, 40.
40.
My dad tells me about his 40th birthday. They had like a cake with his glasses and everything and put over the
Nice, nice.
Interesting.
I know we did an over the hill party for my stepmother when she turned 30.
Ooh.
Oh,
That was really rude.
Yeah, that's a rude.
Yeah.
that's insanely rude.
But think about it this way, Tanner. You're now closer to 80 than being born.
That's right. Closer to 80 than being born. That really is halfway. I
That's
don't
sad.
think I want to go much farther than 80. You know.
I don't know. You look at Dick Van Dyke though. He's spry
He's-
and dancing.
That man is in the gym
Yeah,
every
he is.
day.
Yeah.
You know who is not? Me. I'm not in the gym every day. I probably should.
We're trying. We're
We all
trying.
should.
We're doing our best as a group up here, okay?
That's right. How was everybody's weekends, man?
It was good. I relaxed a lot. You guys, I've been running at 100 miles an hour trying to get shit done, and I finally just sat down and
How about that?
I watched some fights and cooked some food. It was a good time.
That's right. You got big soup whiff at your house? You got big cooking smells?
Yeah, grilling smells.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Busted out the grill.
We made like 5 different types of chicken, like different marinades and
Yeah?
seasonings.
All right.
All the veggies and sides and shit. We went all out for 3 people.
Is that's the apartment complex has like a big grill area?
Yeah, by the pool. Have y'all ever used an electric grill before?
Yes.
That
Not
is
worth
an
it.
interesting invention. Skip. Hard pass.
Yeah.
It might as well be an oven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not on the grill level yet. I'm the old just throw it on the skillet, see what happens.
You're not
You
on the
know.
grill, man?
Dude, so we have a community grill in my complex, and maybe it's because I saw Final Destination 2 too much, whereas that's the explosion scene with the grill.
Oh,
And
God.
so I'm just like, well, one time, my friends were trying to, you hear the delay that's, I'm like, all right, it's over.
That's
so
the ignition.
okay, but it
Yeah,
did not
man.
work though. It did not come.
Well, you stick a little match down
Yeah.
in
A
there.
little lighter. They
I
make
don't.
those lighters
I've
with
seen
the
too many
spoats.
movies. I don't trust it.
All
Not
right.
with my luck.
I mean, the Final Destination comparison, I get.
Yeah.
That's not the one that scared me. I still won't drive behind
That's
a log.
what
A
I was
log
thinking.
truck. Well, no, that's
oh
also-
my God.
That's also all those movies. Just
Yeah.
will get you paranoid about just being alive.
Did y'all
Yeah.
see the ad in town? It was a log truck
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I
that
saw it.
had Final Destination on the back of
Oh
it.
goodness.
Great
man.
marketing. They know where they got
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a solid move.
Yeah.
But
What
So
about-
everybody had a
Millennials
good
are
weekend.
like,
yeah,
No.
Well, by the way, Tanner, awesome job, Double Bear on Friday night at the
Yes,
Rustic.
we were there.
Played
That's
for
right,
2
that's
hours
right.
straight.
I didn't even get invited. That's okay.
Oh.
It was
It was
on
on
You quit
social
coming to
media.
shows. You quit coming to shows years ago.
That's not true. I saw Bear Child at
Not
Harwood.
the bear child.
At Harwood Arms one day.
Oh my
Oh, that's a
God.
what a
different
gig.
scene.
Okay, tell me this, Tanner. Outside of what we talked about before, how was it playing on the Rustic stage?
It was pretty cool. There's been some really fun names up there, and being able to share that space is really rad. I would totally do it again.
Absolutely. You have
Super
to.
fun. Shouts out to the Rustic. Had a really good time over there. Food, excellent. Had a really awesome, barbecue meat burger. Oh, dude.
Barbecue meat burger.
Yeah. It just
Barbecue.
Had a little of everybody in there.
No, I think Salt and Pepper played on that stage one time.
Yeah,
I think
man.
so. I think you're right.
Pat Green.
Pat owns it, right?
Ghostland Observatory.
I feel like there's been a ton of country, up and coming country
Yeah,
artists that
mainly
have graced that
country.
stage.
A Hall & Oates cover band I saw one time.
And now
Was it
Double
the
Bear.
Rich Girls?
Yes, it was the Rich Girls.
Oh, boy. You know, they hung it up.
Did they?
Yeah.
Ain't that rich?
know.
The singer, we used to be
I see
pretty
what you
tight
did.
with him with the Teen Wolves, and he moved out to Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good move.
Life happens.
Good weed.
All the weed.
Yep.
And then you guys played at Mutt's on Saturday for all
I
the
didn't.
puppies.
I
oh,
didn't.
you didn't.
That was the first time I've ever really hung out at Mutt's.
As the drummer, I'm always too loud for acoustic gigs.
Oh, it was an acoustic gig. I
Yeah.
didn't realize
Yeah.
it.
It
Okay.
was. Yeah, it was cool. It was packed. It was Wolfstock,
Wolfstock. That's cute.
hilarious.
but
Oh,
it was
boy.
cool. It was a fun chill. And then Bishop Risen was out over at Bishop Exchange. There's a lot
man.
of music.
A lot of music going on. Yeah, well, Charlie, you hang out with a lot of musicians.
That is true.
You really
I
do.
think like 75 to 80% of my friend circle are all in bands.
I've known you for
Which
almost
is
a
great.
decade, and this last year, I've been really exposed to all your musical friends.
No, speaking of that, Tanner,
Yeah.
at your birthday party, this karaoke party that was a blast, my friends Nicole and Haley were there, and they were like, I can't get up there now. They're like, I thought this was just try not to be the worst.
Oh my
Oh, no.
god!
And as soon as Madison went up there and sung Tony Braxton, they're like, yeah, we can't do this.
Yeah, never mind.
And we're like, yeah, everybody here professionally does
Oh
karaoke.
my god! It was the All-Star Games
Yeah.
for karaoke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I can't do this now.
It was super fun.
You know
It
who
was
I
super
run
fun.
into all the time, Tanner?
Who's that?
Mr. Corin.
Oh, I
trying to-
love Corin.
Corin is so good.
Mr. Oh, the karaoke regular?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. I haven't seen that guy in ages.
He's at Harwood every Friday.
Harwood Tavern,
Nice-
yeah.
nice moves.
So he's one.
I love running into other karaoke regulars and you give a smile and a nod.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't remember their name, but you remember their song.
So
Yeah.
it's not the scene from Anchorman where you'll just all fight with
Oh
crazy
my
Yeah.
god!
No, that's other karaoke DJs.
DJs, yeah.
Kill a guy with a trident.
Brent, you need to hang low.
I think you killed a guy.
you killed the guy, bro.
All right, we got some sports to get into.
We do. Speaking of fighting and competition,
Let's kick it off with these Rangers, man. Are we 500 baseball?
It helps to play the White Sox.
it does.
I was gonna say we've been playing pretty well.
Yeah.
No, they've been looking better at the plate, which is good. So
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Well, the last couple, about the week
Yeah.
or so. 'Cause
About a week and a half.
yeah,
yeah, you've seen players like Simeon turn it on at the plate. Berger's been pretty good.
Evan Carter with
Evan
that amazing
Carter.
catch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he hurt his wrist on
I
that
know,
one.
I
Yeah.
know.
Charlie sent me that, and I was like,
I know.
oh,
I'm like,
no.
of course, we can't have
Yeah.
anything nice.
Yeah, I know. He's a little injury prone, right? But now it's kind of flipped where the two that are struggling the most are Wyatt and Josh Young.
Yeah,
So it goes in ebbs and flows, right? Our pitching's still holding up, which is good, but Molly's on the IL now, which is not
Yeah.
good. Rocker had a good start, but he's still a rookie. So
Yeah, and they sent him down and called him right back up, right? Yeah.
How about? I think the still of last year, and I'm glad we didn't, find a reason to trade him. Is Josh Smith?
Yeah. No,
I mean,
he's been.
I think he was a player of the week.
You're good.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Fix It. You
Yeah.
can slide him anywhere into that lineup, and he will
Yeah.
thrive.
Definition of a utility player, right? He
Yeah.
can play
Yes.
anywhere on the diamond, bat anywhere in the lineup, and he's been really consistent. And I think we talked before the season started, and I was like, Josh Young, I think it was a flash in the pan
Yeah.
here. And I'm happy that I was wrong on that, right? Like,
So
Me too.
I was
Yeah.
wrong. And that's a pleasant surprise, right? So I hope he keeps it up, and he's kind of a linchpin of keeping the team steady.
Yeah.
And again, we're only at 500. We need to be better than that. But the Astros are starting to pull away a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but we're right in that wild card
Yeah.
race. So
We
that's
are.
good.
Trash
We're right on wild card. Of course, we got the Royals tonight.
Bobby Witt Jr.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. All-Star Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Home
he's,
run.
How many more weeks until All-Star Weekend, guys?
It's the end of
2 or
July
3.
usually, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's mid-July. I think
Mid-July.
it's like
Well, that-
July
like-
16th, something like that.
Yeah, so towards
Eight
the
The
end.
reason I'm asking is because I saw on my ESPN alerts that the Boston Red Sox traded one of their top
yeah.
players
Oh,
away
yeah.
for a pitcher. What happened here?
For a few pitchers.
Well, there was a few pitchers and a prospect that
It
came
was-
back
Yeah.
to Boston. Boston got a guy named Kyle Harrison, who's been in the majors for a couple of years. He's a pretty good pitching, I guess, still prospect, but he hasn't lived up to his potential overall since he's been called up.
Dieters.
They got another pitcher that I'm not so high on. He kind of is more of a bullpen arm, Jordan Hicks. And they got a prospect, Tibbs the third. I forget his first name,
the third.
but he's a decent prospect.
Tibbs the Third.
Yeah, he's a decent prospect, but not top 100, right? The Giants only had one top 100 prospect, so I'm surprised they didn't get Bryce Eldridge back in this trade. Because Devers is an all-star. He's like third in the American League in RBIs, maybe second. They were winning. This is, and I know we can't go one show without it, but this is the baseball version of the Luka trade.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, if you ask a Red Sox
If
fan,
you ask
know-
Red-
Yeah,
If you ask Red Sox fans, they're very like, why did you do this?
I
Like,
saw
Yeah,
a lot of
I,
pushback.
Yeah,
I-
I did too.
I texted a Red Sox fan. I
Yeah.
showed them that, and they're like, "Why? I liked him." I was like, "Now the Giants will like him."
Yeah, like
They're going to love him.
it was
It's-
not apples to apples because Luka's a little more transcendent than
Yeah,
Devers,
but still a big trade.
But Devers was obviously the best player in this trade, and they didn't really get much for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they sent him to a West Coast team, and the fans are pretty upset. Not only upset, confused.
yeah,
They just don't know why.
I was trying to figure out what the state of the AL East is. And is it a two-horse race between the Yankees and the Red Sox, or like the Rays still in it? Like
The Rays are still in it.
Yeah,
And
I
actually,
figured it was
the
a little.
Blue Jays are still in it, too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a pretty like reckless move, right?
It was. I don't, like, as an outsider, because I'm not a Red Sox fan, I don't know why they did it. Like, it was really confusing when I saw it come down. I was like,
Felt a little knee jerk.
yeah, that doesn't make sense. And it literally comes down to, I just think he pissed them off and they don't like him, right? Because there was
Boston's
a
a
whole
tough town.
There was a whole
Yes.
storyline early in the year because Devers is a natural third baseman. Well, they signed Bregman in the offseason, like former Astro spare
Boo.
Alex Bregman. Yeah,
Big
boos
boo.
are warranted. But the Red Sox did sign Bregman, and they asked Devers to move to first. And he pushed back and said, no, I'm a third baseman. Right? Like, he basically said, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Well, they kind of just put him in the lineup anyway as a DH, and he pushed back at that. He's like, I need to be on the field. So there was some contention between management and Devers
Interesting.
that rubbed some
more-
people the wrong way, I think.
The more you're telling me, the less this sounds like the Luka trade.
Yeah. Well, you
No,
know,
definitely.
Luka was fat and argumentative and
Couldn't play
helped-
defense.
Couldn't play defense and just
Loved
a
his
terrible,
beer.
It's
terrible
more
disappointment.
management said, I'm tired of you, so I'm
Yeah.
going to get rid of you without shopping you at all because they didn't shop him. Just like Luka,
Crazy.
right?
Crazy.
They basically said, I want this deal even though it's not a good deal. And it was basically they just did not want him on the team anymore, even
That's-
though he was the best player. So it was more of a management getting in their own way
Balderdash.
and thinking the fans are there to see them and not the player. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, but it was a shocking trade. to
Is
say the least.
this a little foreshadowing action of what's to come with the trade deadline coming up? Do we see a
Maybe.
lot of moves being made? Anything you've kind of heard in the back end? Because I know with you playing fantasy baseball, you're
Yeah.
paying attention to who's on the trading block and what teams need what. Like, what are you expecting?
I expect some movement, but I think it's more pitcher related. I don't know of many bats that are like being really talked about as targets.
We're going to trade Shohei Ohtani to the Rockies.
Ha.
The Dodger fans would revolt.
Now that's a Luka trade comparison.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, to the point where when his contract was expiring with the Angels and they're like, we're not contending, he's not going to re-sign with us, they still didn't trade him because they're like, our fans would basically
Would
revolt.
riot.
Yeah. So they basically said, we're just going to take the L here. But yeah, the Dodgers are not trading Ohtani. If they were, I hope the Rangers are right there at the front of that line.
Boy.
What about the guy, Livy Dunn's boyfriend?
Paul
from the
Skeens.
Yes.
So there is some talk about Paul Skeens. It would take a ransom, right? Because he has like 3 more years of control, and he's a stud. He's like the best strikeout pitcher in the league, really. But the Pirates are the Pirates. They're not doing anything ever.
Right.
He's great, but the
Yeah.
rest of the team is like, eh.
Meh.
I mean, they got O'Neill Cruz, they got Brian Reynolds, they got McCutcheon, who's
I mean,
still
that's-
playing well
they're-
at his
He's
age.
still out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's old.
Good. He's older than I am.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, they're NL East or NL Central?
NL Central.
Central, okay.
Yeah.
So they got to deal with what?
Cardinals, Cubs. Cubs probably the main contender there.
Gotcha.
Cardinals and Brewers after that.
I just think
The Reds.
for whatever reason, I'm like triggered by the Phillies because, they like put their logos and it spells poop. Have you ever seen that?
The poop game. There's no more poop games. No more poop games because they changed the graphic.
Think about
I
that
know.
branding.
Yeah.
What shit?
I got to get one of those Titas hats.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, I saw
Bet
one in the
that.
wild on
Did you?
opening day. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Not the Wild. I'm actually going to go to a Ranger game next Sunday.
Ooh,
Nice.
fun.
Yeah.
Who they play? Who they play next Sunday? Next weekend?
Oh, she told me and I forgot.
Like I said, I know the Royals start tonight, but I don't know who they're playing over the
Charlie's
weekend.
got it. Charlie.
The
oh,
Pirates.
The irony.
The Pirates.
Look at that.
Maybe it's a Skeens game. If it's a Skeens game, I might go there myself
man.
because I would like to see
We should
Skeens
make it a
live.
thing. Pouring takes the Rangers.
But
Well-
yes, there's talk of Skeens being moved. But again, that would be a hefty price. There's a few teams that could probably afford it. Dodgers, one of them.
They get everybody.
Yankees, another. Yankees have some
I
prospects.
feel like the Yankees would like pull that kind of move. Like they are so
Yeah.
desperate to win, and they have all that criticism with their manager how he handled their playoff or their World Series run, I should say.
Yeah, they got some prospects too that I think the Pirates would be interested in, like maybe a Lombard Jr. or a Spencer Jones, like that are pretty good, right? So they could include them in a deal for Skeens, but it would take a lot
Definitely.
because again, 3 years of control for a guy like that, it's pretty pricey.
Well, I will go to this game and I will report back, and maybe shoot some content with my best friend's kid, little Casey.
Aww.
Look, I like the Pirates. Actually, I have a soft spot for them. I think they have the best ballpark in
Yeah,
the league.
we've totally talked about
yeah,
this.
like,
Yeah.
The Pirates ballpark, PNC Park, is amazing. I like their, color scheme. I know that's weird, but like the yellow and black looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks
And-
Black
cool.
and yellow, black and
Yeah.
yellow.
What's their so with their mascot? Do they do like the live guy in a pirate outfit, or is
It's
it
a
just
parrot.
Oh, it's a
Oh my
parrot.
God.
It's like
really?
it's like a green parrot. Kind of looks like the Philly Fanatic, I guess. but
Really?
yeah.
I
Man,
did
I
not
would have
know that.
I would have like a Jack Sparrow guy, just like
Yeah.
with hot dogs and beer, and just like
Yeah. Unless they've changed it, but that's what I remember it.
That
being.
sounds like some kid-friendly stuff.
speaking of, it's National Mascot Day.
Hey,
Oh, it's your day!
happy birthday, Charlie.
It is, yeah.
Happy
my,
National Mascot Day.
my old.
Do we have to bring back the mascot ranking?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, hey, I will say this. That was a fun time. For those that don't know, I was my college's mascot for 3
He
seasons.
was Blaze.
Was
This
Blaze
is
Maverick.
news to me. I did not know.
Yeah, so
I did not know this interesting
I was a
fact.
very muscular horse, and I was disappointed sad when I would
What-
take it off.
What years were you Blaze?
20 fall 2011 to 2013, 14.
Oh, okay. So I missed you by 1 year.
Yeah.
The 1 year I was at UTA, I was there from 2010 to 2011, and then I ended up at SMU after that.
So you missed it.
So
Also
we,
a
like,
horse mascot.
just missed each other.
Mascot camp, by the way, was at SMU. It was every summer.
Mascot
It was
camp.
a lot of fun. It was me,
What does-
Pistol Pete from Oklahoma State, the Horned Frog. Obviously, Peruna was there.
Peruna.
So
Peruna,
It was it was pretty cool. Us
Talk
doing
to
our
me
bits.
about what happens at mascot camp.
Craziness, because we're not like the cheer team where we're having to worry about doing stunts and all that, and because the thing about it's the NCAA camp, so the winning cheer team that wins that gets an automatic bid. I know this is a whole thing. I'm
We're losing
peeling
Tanner.
the curtain behind. So the winning schools get an automatic bid to nationals.
It's bring it on.
And so for
It's
mascot,
already been brought in.
the same with the mascot as
It's
well,
been
where you
brought.
don't have to audition like a video and stuff like that. But
Uh-huh.
so we do a lot of skits.
So it's like real world for
Yeah.
mascots.
yeah.
You
So we
had
do
me at skits.
we do skits because that's what mascots we do. We do skits and bits,
Skits and bits.
working our characters, how to better our mascot, because obviously we can't talk. Although I was always jealous of the SFA lumberjack, because it's just you just wear a cutoff
guy in a
and
flannel.
Yeah, and it's usually one of the male, and they have a female and male. And yeah, because
Lady
like
lumberjack.
you're not sweating the way we are sweating in this.
No,
and,
it
and
sounds
you can see
miserable, like in one of the outfits.
Oh.
How do they smell, Charlie?
Terrible. So a lot of
Generations of
sweat.
mascots.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like my particular outfit, and a lot of the mascot outfit, you can't wear ice pack. They're like, why don't you wear an ice pack? Because it molds the suit, the fabric.
Oh.
So yeah, I was drenched. I'll give a. You want to hear a gross story?
Oh God.
Oh God.
So me and my buddy, because my first year was just me, and I had I'll never forget. I missed a game because I had to work, and one of the guys, one of the dads, is like, Blaze, where you been? I'm like, man, I gotta pay bills. Like I'm worried.
Right,
But
I gotta
anyways,
eat, bro.
I,
I got a
I
dope
recruited my buddy, who was a lot more athletic than me, to be Blaze as well. So we would change off. Well, there was a back-to-back game. And he did the first game. And by the way, we're not big guys. The original Blaze was like over like 6'5". So that first suit, I had to duct tape,
Wow.
and then they had to modify a suit. So me and shout out Matt Morgan.
Way to go, Matt.
No, he wasn't the tall one, but we were both smaller. So we only had the one suit. So he wore it first, and I did the game after him. And you can just only imagine.
Ew.
So he would remember that story. That makes you want to take a bunch of
You
showers.
never want to go second.
No, but that was a big game. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was,
Yeah, just smelling somebody's funk right up on you.
Exactly. Well, I was a wrestler, so you're used to that. So
I couldn't do
So was
UFC
he.
or
He was-
wrestling
he was
or
a wrestler
mascots
too,
'cause I'd
so.
need a shower too much.
I will.
Oh, you take like 3 showers a day minimum.
I'll say
training.
real quick. Some cool highlights was getting to go to Daytona each year for cheer, the nationals, and my final year, we won the national title for a small group, co-ed, which was awesome. So that was cool seeing that. And it was just so much of a party because, they're training almost all the way up until April. And they go into competitions too. So it was a lot of fun. And I would say because, UTA, we didn't get a lot of huge schools come to play. We usually had to go. But when we opened College Park Center, where the Wings play right now, we played OU.
Nice.
And it was homecoming, and there was pyro. I was like, and my spirit coach is like, Charlie, just be careful. Don't get lit on fire. It felt like old school.
I feel like I
old
have
school.
to tell you that regularly.
Exactly.
Boy.
But funny, just one more is Matt. He's athletic. That was there was a homecoming video where he does the pre-video, right, and he's on a scooter. He does a flip. Well, the thing about mascotting is, because a lot of schools have multiple that get to do it, it's continuity because it's the same character. So anything that you change the other person, like, you have to stick to. And Matt does a flip in the video. I'm looking. I'm like, damn you, because
Yeah.
now I'm coming out. I'm the live mascot, the in-game mascot. So what happens when I come out? They're like, Blaze, flip. I'm like, the best I can do is a cartwhil. Like,
Well,
I'm
that's-
gonna be a dead horse out here.
Oh my God.
But at the
Dang
end of
it, Matt.
Hey, you could say at the end of the day I was a Charlie horse.
Hey, I bet you got that all the
Okay.
time.
No, but it's funny how the cheerleaders would just, you're not supposed to know who's in that. Like, and I believe in the professional level, it's very secretive. Like, they're like, they didn't care. They're like, hey, this is Charlie. Which gave me brownie points, though, like, because you're, like, the symbol of the school. It's like 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta
That
get
is dope,
known.
though.
My mom still will go up. They still go to the games like, this was Blaze.
Oh shit.
Still get that call out. I imagine the camp that you went to is a lot like the Olympic Village.
That's what I was thinking.
Where it's just like
was
a bunch of just debauchery going on.
It was
right.
a lot of.
They pass out condoms.
It
Get
was,
lucky in the outfit.
You know, I don't think the mascot. Sorry,
There
we
has
don't
to be
get a
people
lot
into
of.
It's too funky, man.
You know,
I mean, people have furry fetishes.
I was gonna say
For sure.
I mean, have y'all ever seen the internet?
Right?
Oh, all the way.
Not the
You
internet.
have not seen all the way of the,
The
internet.
internet.
Ah,
What's that newfangled contraption?
But
let me ask AI.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a great time. Enjoy it. So for all of my fellow mascots out there, happy. I
Hey.
got to do the Cowboys game too, by the way.
Happy
that's cool.
mascot.
Yeah,
Day.
that was a lot of fun.
Did you go out there and
Happy
high
mascot
five
day.
with Rowdy?
Man, I'll tell you what, I fainted almost. I didn't realize you don't go as hard outside when it's 100 degrees, but I had to take that moment during musical chairs and stuff outside pregame, and I was like, almost like that. But I will say, being on that field was cool, and then the football, man, I remember running. You can't see anything. Jason Witten comes out like, that guy's enormous.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
So
Is there a hierarchy of mascots? Like, if you met Rowdy, would you be like in awe of Rowdy?
I always grew up loving Rowdy. You know, I love his energy, but probably the number, like one of the top mascots. And this is true. Is probably the Milwaukee Buck.
Really?
Well, that dude will do things I'll never do. He ascends from the roof.
Well, I was gonna say there's the,
Yeah,
the
Philly fanatic.
Jaguar and Jacksonville does that shit
Blaze
too.
is afraid of heights. So you don't see horses fly Pegasus, but I
I
would
was
never
gonna
do that.
say, shout out Wings.
Those are mythical.
Shout out Lightning. Shout out Boots.
Allegedly.
Yeah, lots of flying horses out here.
Well, I think for OU, for their mascot, you have to do it because usually they do get a lot of former like gymnasts or like cheerleaders. You have to do like a backflip and stuff in it. I'm like,
OU's mascot's a wagon.
they got a horse. They got a horse. Everyone has a horse. I want to know. I would love to see what the most like for all schools like of it. Lion, eagle,
Cat, bobcat.
Yeah.
No,
Everybody's
there's a
the
list. I've seen
Wildcats.
this list before. I think it's eagle is like the
Probably.
number one. Wildcat is like a big one.
I did like Scrappy at UNT. Almost came close. Because, see, I was the Richland Thunder Duck.
See,
What's
UNT is
a
good for
thunder
something.
duck?
It is a mallard duck.
What the duck is that?
And the
There
funny,
we go.
And the funny thing is, it didn't have legs, so I had to have yellow leotard and like white tennis shoes, and so yeah, that was my first mascot. I was also Tom Thumb before too,
Oh, yeah?
The
which was just like a white guy with a white guy. It was
Oh, I know what Tom Thumb looks like.
yeah. So yeah,
I'm
if
just
you
a little white
it-
man.
I've been Barney before. So yeah, if you need to hire a mascot,
Mascot.
Check this guy out.
I mean,
Spider-Man.
I never know what's going to come up, but I don't have it on my list of needs right now.
Yeah.
Hey, children's birthday parties. Certain
right.
adult
Hey,
birthday parties.
I'll just be a red solo cup.
That'd be perfect.
Tanner, why did you not have him
We'll
dress
play
as a mascot for
beer
your
pong
birthday?
with him.
I keep telling Tanner I'll wear the Teen Wolf outfit
Hell yeah,
or
you
the
will.
or a bear outfit for Double Bear.
Bear child.
Bear child.
But right now, this time of the year, this
Double
is
bear.
tough. I don't know how any of the football teams come August outside because we didn't have football. Do it in the 100-degree
I don't
freaking
know.
No,
weather.
it sounds
Let
awful.
me ask you non-mascots a question. Do y'all like meeting mascots, or do you think it's weird?
Only if it's gritty.
I never once thought about it.
People are afraid of mascots.
I know people are afraid of mascots, that's why I'm asking.
No, it's never been on my radar, really. I don't think I've gone to a sporting event and been like, I need to
that's the
meet that.
mascot.
Yeah, never done
I've-
that.
I've al-
Okay, stop making fun of me. I am that person.
You got to go meet
No,
the
that's
mascot.
okay.
Dude, I chased Victory Green down a tunnel once.
And I told her, you know who I am. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so a little
I would love to be
caveat.
Victory
You know
Green.
who I am?
There is a little
Shout out
caveat
Dallas.
to that because my friend Craig, Tanner's met Craig,
Oh, I love Craig.
hates Rangers captain so much.
Really? I have always.
Wow.
Like, we would actually, like, take pictures with him and send it to Craig on purpose to, like,
He
just
hates that
mess with Craig.
Oh, I love it.
And when they came out, MLB came out with like mascot hats at Lids not too long ago, and there's one of Rangers captain, and I'm like, I'm buying this for you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is your Christmas present.
We have a lot of horse mascots here in Dallas. Specifically, we got Blaze, we got Peruna,
We got Champ.
Captain,
Mavs,
Champ,
Mavs thing,
Champ.
Champ,
Yeah, no, I mean it's a common
Rowdy.
Rowdy's not a horse. He's a cowboy.
Anybody can know
He's
that.
the creepiest motherfucking cowboy I've ever seen in my
love
life.
Rowdy.
Gross.
That
Shut
was
up.
like
He's so gross.
my
They
dream
need
goal.
to update that face. I feel like that face murders you. It reminds me of the Smile movies.
Well, you should have seen the former
yikes.
Sam Maverick and Samantha Maverick. They were cowboys, cowgirl, and they had that
Hello.
smile
My
where
name
it apparently
is
was
Sam
freaking
Maverick.
kids out. So they went the horse route, which is very muscular. I was a clown once too. So I've been a
You're a
couple
clown
films.
every day.
Oh, I know. I was the worst clown. I could not juggle. I could not paint faces. So that's
Yeah?
how I had to come up with humor.
Oh my God, I
Balloon
had
animals.
my
Could you
high
balloon
school-
Oh no.
you guys.
I was Pity the Clown.
Pity
Pity the
That's-
clown.
That's funny.
Gross.
You guys, my high school had a curriculum on like, I called it circus time, but it was a combination of gymnastics, unicycling, and juggling.
Nice.
So I
Oh,
learned how to
boy.
do all of those things over the course of 6 weeks.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
in
my
6
type of
weeks?
No, I'm not kidding. It was 6 or 8 weeks. I can't remember,
Oh
but
my
it was literally
gosh.
like a rotation of different stations, and like you had like handstands, cartwheels, and then you had like trampoline, like vault jumps and shit like that. Unicycling was one of them, and juggling was the last one.
I thought my course in driver's ed in college was ridiculous, but that takes the cake.
This is high school.
I mean,
like, it's
it is-
insane.
it is
Didn't you
tough.
take driver's ed like 5 times?
I took 3 driver's ed 1, 2, and 3 all back to back on Tuesdays and Thursdays my last semester because I was saving up to study abroad, and I told the instructor, I was like, yeah, I really need to like work. He's like, you know how to drive, just come on exam days. So
Perfect.
there was a time period where I could actually teach driver's ed. Like I was certified to teach kids how to drive.
That is
Ah.
wild.
Yeah. So
Coach-
yeah, it wasn't me like learning how to drive. It was me learning the process of teaching others how to drive.
There you go.
It's the most ridiculous course ever. It did not need to exist, but
Oh my God.
it got me 9 credit hours. So
Hey!
All right, back to sports.
All right, moving
I
on.
I sensed it in your voice. So
That's
let's
right.
move to UFC real quick. We
All
had
right.
2 back-to-back very strong weekends in the promotion. Lots of excitement. Let's go back in time. Let's start with the last pay-per-view that you and I got to watch together.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
We went to Maple Landing for UFC 370.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was 317.
316, 317, I
Or
think
was
is
it
where we're at.
316?
it was Austin 316. I think.
It might have been 316. You're right. Because 17 is next.
Yes.
Two
That's
weeks
the
Yeah.
bottom line.
Sean O'Malley, Marab Davashali. In the co-main event, Kayla Harrison and Juliana Pena. And I think our picks were pretty spot on.
Absolutely. Kayla Harrison making weight was very shocking to me. She looked so depleted in her weigh-in, and it made me so concerned about her actual fight. But give me her rehydration specialist. Holy shit.
I told you she was going to make it. I don't know how she does
She
it, but
looked
she does
like
it.
she was dying on the
Yeah.
scale. ESPN posted like the photo from her weigh-in and then her walking into the arena the next day. Or no, her in weigh-ins that night. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So they do ceremonial weigh-ins on Friday nights. And thank you. And the difference over the course of that day after she weighed in, she looked like herself again, and she looked fucking stacked. I like opened up my phone, and that was one of the first like notifications I'd seen, and I was like, God damn, she looks good.
Yeah, she was crusher. The fight went about as what many would expect. I mean, she's just so physical. From her, her grappling, how strong she is, just smothering Juliana. Ended up submitting her. Went for Kimura. At first, I thought she was going for a head and arm, but that just tells you how strong. And Juliana is no slouch off her back as far as a grappler. But that's how
Absolutely.
strong Kayla Harrison
Yeah,
is.
Juliana came out today saying that arm that she was Kimura'd on was actually injured. Believe what you want to believe, but that's out there.
Excuses.
I am just enamored by the strength of this woman. Like she just like really outmuscled her. That's like the best
Yeah.
way to put it. Like there was nothing Juliana could do. Juliana was in trouble as soon as they hit the ground.
Oh, we knew it. I thought this would have to go a lot similar to Amanda in the sense of Juliana had to win in the striking and go down. And if she was going to get the back because that's where I feel Gianna's the strongest. She was going to have to rock her, but it's not. But at the same time, like she's not long rangey, so she's going to have to close in the distance. Where that's where Kayla can do her damage too in the clinch. And so now we got it looks like Amanda. Kayla,
I was about to say Amanda
know,
coming into the octagon. The two women cutting a flawless promo together.
Yeah.
UFC fans all over the world absolutely thirsting for this action.
I know I'm thirsty.
You are?
Well,
I guess.
Cheers.
And here's the thing. Here's the interesting dynamic is it could be. They haven't said, well, one, they haven't made it official, but.
Yeah, you were the one that told me that Amanda's got to go a certain number of months for the
yeah,
testing pool.
I believe it's about 6 months.
Since
and they
she's
haven't,
retired and unretired.
Yeah, and they have announced that she already jumped in, you know. So, one, she looked big. Amanda looked big. She looked
Yep.
taller. And
Taller.
she did look taller than Kayla. she's.
Oh, I thought you were saying that she grew.
Oh, no.
She looked a little taller.
I thought
Maybe
they
she
were,
lost some weight.
I thought they were the same height. So she's a little bit.
Oh my God,
and
that's
we
so
and we
funny.
know Amanda's boxing. And Amanda's very strong herself and a great BJJ black belt. But the question is, will this be at 135 or Amanda is the last 145 champion? And here's the thing: I could see at 145 where Kayla won't have to give up the belt. And this can reopen, and you mentioned about these cuts and stuff. I'm sure Kayla will enjoy being up at 145. There's several fighters that we know in the mix, and you look over the way that they're taking over a lot of the PFL fighters.
Yep.
And you have like the Bellator, like Julia and Bud, and you can even maybe that door with Chris could come back, Chris Cyborg, but we'll see what happens.
What
once
would
again.
you say if the UFC kind of opened it up a little bit more than that in the future? Not, we passed the Kayla Amanda fights.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. But what if the UFC were to start a women's heavyweight division and basically said 145 and up, come and fight?
Well, they,
or 155 and up, come and fight.
PFL had 155 where Kayla was the champ and looked very super healthy. She's done judo at 170.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure more fighters would love that. And there's a lot of great talent out there. It's just the window of opportunity because there's only 3 weight classes in the UFC, which I would even argue, let's go lower. There's some small straw weights. Atomweight is big.
Atomweight is big in Asia.
Yeah.
They are built different in Asia for a reason. I think 105 in America is not going to work.
You never know, but this is why the Ultimate Fighter and stuff like that.
105. That's what I'm saying. I think it
Someone's
makes sense.
gonna die.
I think it makes sense,
But-
especially given the culture that we're living in, this health and wellness thing we're going through right now. I think it does make sense to go heavier and open that door more. There is a lot of talent at those heavier weights. We've seen it. I've seen it as a woman in the MMA community here in Dallas. There are more bigger girls who are not getting opportunities that can really smash and bang, and that's what the UFC wants.
I definitely don't disagree.
I don't think Dana
I
wants
think
that.
I definitely don't
I'm
disagree
sorry,
if
I'm
you
sorry.
follow.
I think he wants hot
if
chicks.
you
I'm gonna argue with you in a
Okay.
second. You finish your point.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't disagree. I think when PFL created their tournament for 155, I was like, this is awesome, and Bellator acknowledging a 145 with Julia and Bud, and of course Chris came over there and became the champion. And Invicta's done it forever. That's how we met Megan Anderson. A lot of the fighters, it is kind of ridiculous that the highest you can go is 135. I want to see fighters at the most healthy. Even Kayla, I feel like, get her at 145, get her at 155. What we saw is even more of a beast, you
Yep,
know.
I'm with you.
So just open more. If you're going to do it with the guys, do it with the girls. There's so many fighters.
So let me address your comment about hot girls.
I think Dana's a meathead.
No, I agree with you. Dana is a meathead, but right now he's putting out a really shitty product.
yeah.
Like, as a women's MMA fan specifically, I can't stand certain girl fights. Like, I know certain girl fights are going to go to decision and be boring as fuck, even though I'm a huge fan of that fighter. In fact, that happened this past Saturday, which we will get to.
Oh man.
If we go up in weight class and these women are healthy and fighting at the correct weights that match their bodies, they are more likely to put on a show. You watch these fights and these girls are exhausted and they spend all their time on the ground, and casuals don't want that.
I agree.
I'm thinking casuals want to see some blood, even if it is from a woman punching another woman,
Especially.
That's the whole point. Like, you want to see some action, and right now there is no action in women's MMA. I mean, we're sitting here scratching our heads outside of Kayla and Amanda coming up. What else is there to look forward to in women's MMA?
Well,
nothing.
Hypothetical fights that doesn't seem like the UFC yet is like really right now. Weili Valentina is the fight to make.
Absolutely.
But
I'd be excited about that.
There's been no stirring of the pot at press conferences talking about that. We saw Joanna and Valentina at 125. It wasn't. I wouldn't call it so much a super fight because they met at that weight, but still, it's kind of like when I feel this still, even Amanda's time. I still felt like when Ronda left, it was like all the kind of like real strong matchmaking juice kind of went out the window. It's like we only know how to market Ronda very well. Mm-hmm. And even though Amanda came in, it was a destroyer. And don't get me wrong, a lot of Amanda fans, but you can't say she was marketed nearly the same as Ronda and how those fights were made.
Yeah. Well, UFC definitely has a problem. And like you said, if this fight potentially can happen at 145 and resurrect the featherweight division for the women, that'll be huge. Like,
yeah.
Absolutely huge. And I hope that's the route they go. Especially, I feel like, taking a layoff the way Amanda did, it's going to be really hard for her to cut down to 135. I don't know how many more times Kayla's going to be able to cut to 135 at her age. Let's be real.
And she looked good when she beat Cyborg in 2018, and she looked good against Megan at 145. I mean, it's I think I'm just ready to see. I'm ready to see it with also just like all around, like the whole Jurassic weight cutting. We're seeing Caitlin Vera missing. Obviously, Macy Barbara had issues, but we've seen it on both everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's just getting harder and harder, and it's sad to watch.
Yeah, it is really tough, and the rules are very, very strict. So hopefully, in the future they'll open it up. And like I said, it just makes the product better. Mm-hmm. If the fighters are healthy, the product is better, and that's what matters the most at the end of the day.
You should go back to the old days, the Predator days.
Well, ONE FC or ONE Champion, they have a really good. I'm trying to remember the rules of it, but I know it's benefit a lot. Their rehydration rules are very safe, and fighters seem to be. All those fights seem to be very exciting. I'd have to look at the rules sometime, but they're good.
That's out there. It's a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's get into the main event from that card, with Sean O'Malley rematching against Merab Dvalishvili. And just like we said, Merab is a fucking psycho. The way he can pick up Sean O'Malley, carry him around the octagon, and throw his ass down. I don't know. I was hyped. I just love seeing Sean O'Malley get destroyed. I'm sorry. Does that make me a bad person?
Nah, man, that's what the UFC's for. Beating up on people you don't like.
I'll say this, Merab, it went exactly how I think many thought as well. Obviously Sean's always got a puncher's chance, but it's just hard to become a really good wrestler overnight, even though he did have Mighty Mouse in his, brought him in, but it's still not the same. Merab's just on a whole different level. And it goes back to when he beat Henry Cejudo, who's Olympic gold medalist, tossing, ragdolling him. This is Olympic gold medals, and he did exactly the same, fought the same game plan, but also, he didn't get too crazy, played around that too much in this fight, which is what I was kind of worried about, because that's where, you can get caught. No, he was so brilliant, just overwhelming, nothing that Sean could do, and had Sean on his back feet,
you could
which is
see
not how
the
Sean
change
fights.
in Sean's body language as that fight progressed. Like, you saw him come out with confidence and stuff, and we made fun of him. We were like, yeah, he made all these lifestyle changes. He stopped jerking off, and he said that he was no longer
something they advertise. I remember that being a Muhammad Ali thing.
Yeah, it's like a athlete thing. Like, sometimes they tell you not to do it to conserve your juices and your testosterone is at your all-time high.
Well,
or
fighters
whatever.
are very superstitious a lot, and they do their same routine.
But anyway, he also gave up weed.
He gave up weed, which is his stick. And he didn't dye his hair either.
The real
this time.
pain.
He didn't dye his hair. The thing is, I guess a lot is he did all that and then didn't go well. But I think even if he kept it all the same,
and you still lose.
if he would have kept the same, I think the result is still the same. Merab is he is the
He's
machine.
a class of his own.
Yeah, it's
My
just hard to
God.
stop that. And I'm sure you could tell. I think Sean was you're worried about that takedown. You can't stop it.
What would you say is next for Merab?
Well, it's gonna be Corey Sandhagen. He deserves it. He's been in the mix for a very long
about
time.
to get his ass kicked.
I'll say this. I think he's the only best one that can hang. One, because he can wrestle, and two, there is one thing that Sean does not do as a bigger, taller guy. He does not go in the knees. He does not the flying knees, and that's the one thing is Corey. Go watch the Edgar fight. I got Merab. Don't get me wrong. but he is a guy that will fly right out of nowhere and knock you out.
Yeah, and I would expect that fight to be made relatively soon.
And he can wrestle. That's a big thing. And he's got really good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So if you're counting out, you don't watch nearly enough MMA or bantamweight. And believe me, none of the hardcores are going to be counting out. Of course, saying, yes, it's hard to count out Merab, and I think he'll be the favorite, and rightfully so. But if there's a wild card that can come out of nowhere and destroy it,
appreciate
it's
that.
Corey Sandhagen, and he's big.
Ooh, we got some excitement out of
So,
Terry. For
like I
Corey
said, I'm siding with
Sandhagen.
Merab because when you're the champ, and there's a difference. But Corey is the wild card.
Champ is here.
Nobody puts away Diego Figueroa like the way he did.
Yeah.
Submitting him. He's a beast on the ground.
Diego or Davison?
Sorry, Davison Figueroa.
Okay, I was like, wait, who?
Submitting him.
Yes.
Like nobody's
Absolutely.
done that.
You're
so
not
other
wrong.
than Brandon
You're not
with the
wrong.
rear naked, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't. People are counting out. Don't watch nearly enough. And I'm just gonna say that. And you can argue with me.
I don't know.
I'm right.
Merab is just Merab.
Merab
Anyway.
is just Merab, but that's the fight to make.
All right, last thing I'm going to touch on UFC-wise. UFC Atlanta took place
Mm-hmm.
this past Saturday, and we were talking about this on the drive over here. This fight this card should have been a pay-per-view with how loaded it was with former champions. You got to see Cody Garbrandt, Rose Namajunas, Kamaru Usman all doing their thing. Except Cody lost. I can't stand Cody. I put Cody in the same box as Sean O'Malley. I cannot stand
Well,
him.
Sean talked about that. He didn't, is based on the look of how
What
Cody.
were those braids?
Well, that's a big thing. So, and he's like the face tat. That's one thing he was saying on Ariel Hawani, how it
God,
made
he
him
was
feel
so-
embarrassed, and that's how people feel. I mean, I'll say this with about Cody, whether you like it or not. It is an interesting turn after beating Cruz, who is to me still the number one bantamweight of all time. And then the TJ losses. It just kept, and then he beat. Knocked out Hoffeld, then the COVID, and then it's just like a complete
Downhill.
Yeah, not blaming it on the COVID, but I mean, it was just there was a complete 180.
It's probably
after that.
safe to blame it on COVID.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean-
he had client like he was in bad shape,
He was going to die at
and
one point.
he was cutting weight, and I'll never forget when he went down to 125. I was like, why? And fought cut and got knocked out. So, but I
Fight
also
bigger.
I was thinking about this before, show. I was thinking. I mean, the sport just keeps evolving. Everyone gets better and better, and you can't just be the same. Oh, I'm going to be a little quick and box in. It's just everyone is just getting better.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the theme of this era of UFC, if you will, is good wrestling, and that's what was on display with Kamaru Usman in that main event.
And he wasn't fighting wrestlers all the time, Cody.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to call out gyms because this is not a call out gyms. I like Team Alpha on that, but I wonder, okay, where can they kind of change up things or bring in something because he's still got speed and stuff, but it's just it's a second off.
I think it's really becoming about how you can control your opponent against the cage or on the ground, and it's not flashy, it's not beautiful.
Yeah.
But when Kamaru does it, it's flashy and beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, well, Kamaru's got great. He's got a lot of good Greco style.
So give a little backstory into Kamaru because he is from the Dallas area. You know him from high school wrestling, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was a year ahead of me, a couple weight classes ahead of me. Wrestled
think?
one of my longtime teammates. Shout out Clayton Mai. And so it's fun just seeing these guys. Also, Justin Wren, another guy. He's not in the Isubiz Ultimate Fight. You see these guys now in the sport and what they've done, but just seeing them at tournaments. And I briefly got to talk to him a couple of years ago when he made a trip to Fortis, and we kind of ran down memory lane and just same circle. So, but it's cool to see his success. So, always going to root for Kamaru. And
Do you
just
know
glad he's
Drunk
doing
Rhea
well.
met Kamaru Usman?
Oh,
Sober
Not
Rhea,
surprising.
Sober Rhea doesn't really remember it.
Well, of course.
But Drunk Rhea.
In Vegas, 2019.
No, I met him here in Dallas the same time you did at Fortis. But he was it was the UFC fight that was in town. That was Tyron Woodley and Darren Till. That was the main event. And from what I remember, I trained with his brother. So I worked out with his brother from time to time. We knew each other. We were very cordial. But anyway, I'm at this UFC fight with my girlfriends, and we are running back and forth between fights from our seats to the bar. We're doing shots of tequila between fights. So
Ooh.
I am like fucking loaded at this point. Like, I don't even drink tequila anymore. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Oh.
And so while I'm walking the concourse, I was with Jamie. Shout out Jamie, my best friend. Kamaru's brother, Muhammad, stops me and he's like, "Hey girl, didn't know you were gonna be here. What's up?" And we're like just talking, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, this is my brother," and introduced me to Kamaru Usman. But drunk Rayo didn't care. Sober Rayo was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? That was Kamaru Usman, dude."
Right? You had your chance.
What a time! What a time that was.
You could have spit that mad game, and who knows, you might have.
I don't know.
You might.
Hey, fighting? You like fighting? Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Hey,
Can
I
I
know
take
you.
downs?
You look familiar.
Hey,
I like you. You're
Been
pretty
worth
good.
the shot.
Your wrestling's
Oh.
kind of shit, but I think you're pretty good.
Well, that's like a lot of the MMA fan community, because shouts out that's never been in a wrestling room.
Me, yeah. I'm one of those fans. I'm very casual. I don't understand anything that's not boxing.
That's okay. We can explain it to you
Very good.
if you
What
ever want to
is
know.
UFC?
What is-
UFC? I only remember watching when I was a kid, like
Oh,
in the Predator days.
Yeah, the no holds barred.
Yeah, that was awesome.
There was no weight classes. Pretty much no rules. You can hit somebody in the groin. You just
Right,
couldn't eye
just-
gouge.
Just do
Did
it.
y'all ever watch? I'm sure most of you, all of you, probably watched Friends, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's an episode in season 1 where one of the guys Monica dates
John
decides
Favreau.
to be,
John Favreau.
Favreau.
decides to be a UFC
Yeah.
fighter. That episode is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the shit kicked
Yeah,
out
he
of him.
does.
And he doesn't want to quit.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, John Favreau. I think that was one of his first early gigs, too,
Yes.
outside of Swingers. Remember that
Yeah,
movie?
yeah. Swingers and
That movie makes you uncomfortable
Wise
at the
Guys.
end. You ever seen Swingers?
And Iron Man. What?
Tanner,
Iron
you've seen
Man.
Swingers,
Yeah, I've definitely
right?
seen
That
Swingers.
ending
Oh, yeah.
where he
Yeah.
just keeps calling and
Yeah.
voicemail. I'm like, dude, stop.
Yeah, you got to cut it out. All right,
Anyways.
we've got one last thing to tackle. It's
And
right
we'll,
here.
We'll let
it was
Rayya, speaking of fighting words.
before she does. Hi, Internet.
Hello.
Welcome to Pouring Takes. We're so excited to have you. Imagine if you were here telling us about your product or service right here at the great Underdog Restaurant and Sports Club. You can come here and pitch your shit, man. Have a great time. Reach an audience. We have some of those. Check us out. Admin at pouringtakes.com.
Absolutely.
Rayya, take it away.
All right, you guys. This is the topic I've been waiting all evening about.
Hey.
I got this new shirt in. Do you guys like my new shirt?
I do.
Wings.
This is a really dope fucking shirt.
Are you hate wearing this shirt right now?
No, I was actually really excited. I bought this shirt 2 weeks ago. It took so long to get here because it was such a popular thing. It was on back order for like ever, and it finally showed up. And it's got my Holy Trinity on it with Paige, Enrique, and Dejanay Carrington on it. But this team is trash, y'all.
They are.
This
Uh,
shit is disappointing as fuck.
What is your
It's
record?
bad.
We are
man.
1-11.
Okay.
We are dead
Ooh.
last in the WNBA.
How many games did they play?
They play 40-something games.
40-something
Like
games.
anybody can even know that.
Oh, my God. You guys.
What's
Just-
happening? I
just-
thought Paige Buckets was going to
What's
solve all our
happening?
problems.
What's up?
Okay, so Paige did miss 3 games with a
Yeah.
concussion. So that kind of sucks. But
That
she's back.
Question.
She's back. They actually should be tipping off against the Valkyrie any minute now. I don't know if it's on in here, but that should be a really good game. They keep losing games in clutch time. They had a really close one with the Vegas Aces where they were up 9 with 2 minutes to go and absolutely choked that shit away.
That's very sad.
You have arguably a top 5 scorer in Enrique on this team. Like, she's literally top 5 in scoring every season she's played. This is her 5th season in the league. You bring in Paige Buckets to, like, be her wingman, and they're supposed to maybe average 20 points each, right? Then you bring in Dejanay in the offseason. I'm, like, pointing to my chest.
Yeah.
That was weird. You
I
bring
like
in-
that we have
Yeah,
a
visual.
diagram.
Hello. You bring in Dejanay. Dejanay is a top 5 defender in the league and is exhausted.
So we got 3 strong flavors and no one to tie it together. Is that what
Absolutely
I'm
not.
understanding?
So we bring in this new coach, Coach Chris. He's garbage.
Oh, no.
He was an assistant at USC, so he worked with Juju Smith, who is still in
Schuster?
college. No, not Juju Smith. Sorry, Juju Watkins.
I was gonna say, Juju
Well,
Smith-
Juju's on the
I'm
women's
so
basketball.
angry right now. I can't even think straight. Juju Watkins.
Was he doing the box challenge?
I can't. I'm sorry. Can we
Something with
edit
his
All right,
that?
so
tic
we're-
tac.
Can we
No,
edit that out?
no, it's going in.
Juju Watkins. He's coached her. For whatever reason, the new brass at the Wings were like, "This is our guy with the man bun." Couldn't even bring a hot guy in. They had to bring man bun in.
Is it
you're
a
not
man
into
bun
man
or is it
buns?
full ponytail?
I think it's actually more full ponytail, but he wears it in a bun.
All right. Well, he's just
Cute.
trying to figure
And
out
then
which
as
one.
the game goes, his hair turns into a ponytail because his bun doesn't stay together.
Usually, if you're stressed, don't you take it out?
Yeah, you like whip it in the
Let
wind.
it go down.
I
Let it
do
hit your
that.
shoulders.
I definitely do that. I'm doing it right now. But like, he doesn't have a strategy in the game. His strategy is, all right, ISO Page. Okay, next possession, ISO Enrique. Next possession, go to the post. Like, there's no flavor. There's no ball movement. There is no even movement without the ball. That's such a big key in basketball is how can your team flow on the court if everyone is just fucking stagnant?
So
the
he's just
triangle.
winging it right now as a coach, you know.
But he's not doing a good job of
So is he
winging
the
it.
Ted Lasso of WNBA?
No, because Ted Lasso got his shit together.
I was
Well,
about
he-
to say
he
Ted
had-
Lasso.
no.
Ted
But they're
Lasso's
winning.
great.
Well, he has good motivational speeches. I don't know what this guy's
I
is.
mean,
Believe.
I mean, to be fair, Ted Lasso was relegated his first season,
It's true.
but he did come back and figure it out. And
Also fictional.
yes.
Yeah. so,
Very fictional.
also that
just-
way, Ted Lasso's method probably not work.
Just want to point
But
that
very
out.
good at darts.
Very
Yes.
good at darts. Wow. Oh, I'm glad we all love this show. But anyway, so there's a lot of talk on social media in the Wings world that this coach could potentially be fired mid-season because of how poorly they're playing. And to top that off, in that Vegas game where they were winning, there was an opportunity for him to challenge a play down the stretch, and he didn't take it. And you could just see how dejected those women were. Just like the hands up in the air, hands on the hips. Like they're over it.
Yeah,
he
if they've
has
already
already
lost
lost this locker room.
If he's already lost the room,
Well, he's
that's
too
a problem.
busy hanging out with Juju Smith-Schuster.
I'm sorry.
Ha ha, Clinton Dix.
Man.
God.
Well, you know, but here's what we
I
can
quit.
say.
It's a messy.
I will say
episode.
this in positivity. At least we got the number one pick that's going to leave. And we're going to have the number one pick again.
Most likely. I mean, we have to win the lottery again, but we'll
Oh, they
have the
have the
I
same-
highest.
mean,
They
no,
do a
it's going to
lottery,
go.
too.
It's going to go.
Yeah, it's a lottery.
Yeah, they're going to.
No.
I mean, how do you not watch this and not like?
And I
skip
also
to
got to
like-
point out that Eurobasket is taking place. So there is a handful of WNBA athletes that are going back to Europe to play. So a lot of these
They
teams.
do that during the season. Mm-hmm. That's
Wow.
a mess.
Yeah, it is very messy. So a lot of these women are going to be overseas, and they're going to have like these hardship contracts coming in. So they're going to be new players, which will be great. Those women are going to get opportunities to jump in while those players are away.
Like replacement scabs or
Kind of, but they're signed to like short-term contracts. They're not for the
Okay.
remainder of the season. That's why they're called hardship.
okay.
And the Wings made a move this past week to trade for this center from Seattle.
Oh yeah, I
from
saw
China.
That. Yeah.
The Chinese government basically told Seattle Storm, "You're not playing her enough." Because
Okay.
she's supposed to go play with the national team in China, but she makes more money playing in the WNBA. And so she chose to stay here instead of playing for the national team. And so the government in China was like, well, if she's not going to play,
Then
like,
she better be fucking working.
like send her away. So that's how she ended up here. And she's a great player. Like,
Yeah.
the reason that she's benched in Seattle is because they just drafted another center
Oh,
from
good.
from I think she's African
They
descent.
keep drafting.
All right, on.
But and she can dunk.
Oh.
Dominique can dunk. So she's got this exciting like flair to her. So it makes sense
Yeah.
that she's getting more playing time. So we're actually losing our center, Tierra McCowan, to the Eurobasket. So it made sense to bring in another center. And I got excited about that. I posted on my Instagram, I said, when your front office is making moves, but your coach is incompetent,
Yeah.
nothing is
Yeah.
going to happen. So my perspective is I really hope that they move on from this coach sooner rather than later. I mean, we're already 12 games into this season, and we still have yet to win at home. Hopefully
Ooh.
that our luck changes tonight. We play a home game tonight. But
And you have the fever coming up. You have Caitlin coming to
Yeah,
town.
Caitlin-
She's
Clark.
hurt though.
No, she's,
No, she's back.
Oh,
she's back.
And she
She
went
just
off
dropped-
the other
yeah,
night.
She had a great game.
Yeah.
So that game is going to be played at the American Airlines Center on June 27th. Already sold out. The cheapest ticket to get in is over a couple $100. So
Damn.
If somebody gave me some for free, I'd go.
Yeah, let's go do that.
and they also pushed back the start date on the new arena, but they have a new training complex that they're going to share with Dallas FC Trinity or
Do you
Trinity
think
FC.
they will pause?
So that'd be cool.
Depending on how like the coaching and the turnaround. I mean, obviously they want to open it, but it's like the rush, like to build that momentum. I mean, you got to have wins, like right, to get people more.
Yeah, I
with
figured
with any team.
I figured
win,
with
baby,
Paige
win.
coming, it would have been enough to like keep that momentum, whether they had a good season or not. I didn't expect us to be, a top team. There's just so many better teams.
You didn't expect us to be a bottom team.
Yeah,
But
there's
I
a
didn't
difference
exactly.
between
That's
a
what I'm saying.
bad
I was gonna
team
say
and
middle of the
awful
road
team.
Yeah.
is what I expected from this team, and maybe they sneak into the playoffs. But yeah, this is not what I expected.
No, this
Again,
sounds
you
bad.
have a very quality roster that you are not putting the right time and energy to. I feel like this is a theme in Dallas.
Well, we said
Yeah.
that
we got a lot of funny coaches.
but we said this coming in.
No, get in that ass energy.
Right?
Yeah, but we did talk about this going into the WNBA season, how they did make a drastic change from their last Yes, they missed the playoffs, right?
Well, so Coach Trammell had them in the WNBA semis.
Yeah, there you go.
1 year, and then they missed the playoffs the next year.
But then you would have thought, okay, what could she had Paige and like all this, like just maybe. I mean, that's pretty knee jerk in my opinion. And now you took a gamble on a guy with man bun, ponytail, long.
no head coaching experience.
Yeah, with no head coaching, that's a huge thing. Like,
Coach Bun.
Sorry, Coach Chris. It ain't
We
working
ain't
for me.
fans, dude.
It ain't working.
You ain't it.
Not feeling it.
I love these women. I have been on board with Rike since day one. Like, it's really hard for me to see her struggle like this.
Which
It
one's
really
she
is.
on your
She's the middle
middle?
one, 24.
Nice. I wouldn't fuck with her, dude.
Again, top 5 in scoring for the league.
She looks like she'd run right through me.
She's a strong lady.
You didn't want to say beast, huh?
She's got the most quality step back 3 I have ever seen. Like someone else we know whose name I will not mention because it hurts our feelings. But
Dirk.
no.
no, that's your one-legged fadeaway.
That's a different shot
Different
altogether.
shot.
Different shot.
A step back belongs to somebody else.
77.
Which just mentioning the step back made me sad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I went.
Yeah.
"Oh."
Yeah, I mean, like
I
her
know.
playing style is very similar to Lucas.
Heartbroken
I'll be honest.
every
And that's
day.
one of the reasons why I loved watching her play. But in this system, whatever the fuck is happening over there,
It's just a coaching
it's not
mismatch,
happening.
man. Yeah, I mean, these girls can play. They've been out there doing it. Winning awards and being the first and getting drafted to a good team. And
You can
then
only
it's just
do so much.
right. Come
Oh,
on.
this is
Okay,
going
let me
poorly.
ask you this. Okay, let me ask you a quick question on this. Okay, if you were to select the next head coach, would you promote someone within, or would you do like an interim and then see who's out there? Would you try the college route again, but
Okay.
see who's available?
I'm really glad you asked me this question, and it's going to make me even more mad.
All right.
So,
Okay. Let's go.
so
Get to it.
Spicy.
the rumor mill is that the goddess of women's basketball, Lisa Leslie, was looking for a head coaching gig going into this season and specifically interviewed with the Dallas Wings. And they told her no for a man bun.
Wow.
Yeah,
We're really
angry.
angry at man bun.
We are very angry
Yes.
at the man bun.
Is that trend over though?
It's going poorly.
Yeah. By the way, Rangers are down 3-0.
But anyway, I would love them to have someone be an interim coach, get through this season,
Yeah.
maybe make some magic, get some excitement in the city again, because there was a hell of a lot of excitement with Paige coming in.
With the
They just need to
page.
turn a new page.
This Paige,
Dallas Wings, the Page Master.
but
Page Master.
but yeah,
Great movie.
I think going out and doing a full head coaching search yet again next season is the way to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women,
You
female
got any
coaches.
picks? You got any head coach picks, man?
Nothing off the top of my head. I'm just still so angry. But as the season goes on, I will let you know. I mean,
Pat Riley around?
I mean, Becky Hammond just lost a bunch of, or she lost Kelsey Plum in Vegas, and Vegas is nowhere what it was before. If she decides she's a free agent, I wouldn't hate her coming here. But yeah, and then there's a couple college coaches that I would love to see try their hand at the W.
Just need someone with head coaching experience, it sounds like. I mean, that's usually ideal. It's always a gamble on the
And
assistants.
if they do another man coach, can he at least be hot?
That's
Can he at
requirement
least be
number
hot?
1. Number 2 is he can coach. Number 1, at least long hair, no man bun.
I would love
Yeah.
to see like a former player in that coaching spot. Honestly, like
Yeah.
Phil Jackson.
he's in a mountain somewhere. Leave him alone.
Speaking of
Boy,
the
that'd be
triangle,
amazing.
Jason Terry.
But okay, I think I talked y'all's ear off enough with my lady problems.
No, that was fun. That was fun. I think we had a good variety mix of topics here after being off a week, and
we are actually off next week
we're
as
off
well.
another week.
That's right. I'm
We're-
going to be in New Orleans.
He's gonna be in New
Look at
Orleans.
you go.
Sweating my ass off.
There you
Down
go.
by the bayou.
That's me, baby.
nothing wrong with that.
I love
Yeah,
that
man.
for you.
It's going to be fun. Pouringtakes.com. You can see all of our social media over there. We're on everything. We're having a good time. Come be a member of our little Discord. Get in there and chat with us.
Get in that ass.
We're in there talking all the time. Be brave and touch a star. These sports personalities I got with me. Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, well. All right, that
Tails
will
off
do
there.
it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This is Pouring Takes. We'll see you 2 weeks.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everybody.